Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the sources, the reports, the data, and pull out what really matters. Today, we're looking at something pretty groundbreaking, actually. It's an environmental project connecting Cambodia and South Korea. Think clean tech, international cooperation, and a very specific climate target. Yeah, the official name is, well, it's a bit of a mouthful. The Internationally Transferred Mitigation Outcomes Project through Charging Infrastructure for E-Mobility Promotion in Cambodia. But the key thing, this is Cambodia's first carbon project under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. That's huge. So our mission today is to explore how this actually works, the vision driving it, and why it could be a model for others. And, maybe surprisingly, it involves a whole lot of e-scooters. 8,000 of them, in fact. Okay, so let's kick things off. This ambitious project. Where and when did it officially get started?
Right. The formal launch event was on July 21st. Pretty recent.
Yeah.
And it was high level. You had Cambodia's Environment Minister Ying Sophlith there. And from South Korea, the Director General from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy, Pibin Ryu. So serious backing.
Definitely signals commitment from both sides.
Absolutely. And they weren't just talking. The Korean company, Very Words Inc., they specialize in e-mobility and carbon neutrality. They're leading the charge on deliverables. We're talking the first batch of 8,000 electric scooters. These are going to Cambodian public officials initially.
Ah, okay. Public officials first.
Yeah, and alongside that, the plan is for over 200 charging stations across the country.
Crucial infrastructure.
Exactly. Plus, they've built in 2 years of after-sales service, so it's a package deal.
It's interesting they started with e-scooters specifically for officials. Is that just about visibility, or is there more to it for Cambodia's transport goals?
That's a really good point. It's definitely strategic. Giving them to public officials first, it normalizes e-mobility within the government itself. It acts like a very public, practical endorsement.
Right, leading by example.
Precisely. And that can really help speed up wider public acceptance, maybe even policy support for EVs down the line. It's a kind of soft benefit you don't always see measured. And zooming out, yes, it feeds directly into Cambodia's bigger picture on clean transport. It's a tangible step in their shift to a low-carbon economy.
Okay, that makes sense. But to really get what's driving this financially and environmentally, we need to talk Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. For a lot of people, this sounds pretty technical, maybe a bit abstract. How does this project make Article 6, well, real? What are these internationally transferred mitigation outcomes?
Right, Article 6. At its heart, it's about cooperation. It sets up ways for countries to work together to meet their climate targets, their NDCs, or nationally determined contributions. This project uses one of those ways, specifically involving internationally transferred mitigation outcomes, or ITMOs.
ITMOs.
Essentially, it lets one country, South Korea, here pay for emissions cuts in another country, Cambodia, and then South Korea gets to count those verified reductions toward its own climate goals.
Ah, okay, so it's a transfer of the credit for the reduction.
Exactly. And this project, it's expected to generate around 683,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. That's TCO euro in these mitigation outcomes over 10 years.
683,000 tons. That's substantial.
It is. And here's a key detail. A full 90% of those outcomes, those ITMOs, are set to be transferred to South Korea.
90%.
Wow.
Now, carbon markets sometimes face questions about, are the reductions real? Are they additional? What makes these ITMOs credible?
That's absolutely critical. Integrity is key for Article 6 to work. This project uses a specific methodology from the Clean Development Mechanism, the CDM. It's called AMS.3AC.
Okay, a specific code.
Yeah, and what that code signifies is rigor. It's a globally recognized standard specifically for calculating emissions reductions from making vehicle fleets cleaner, like switching to electric. It has rules to ensure the reductions are real, that they can be measured accurately, and crucially, that they are additional, meaning they wouldn't have happened anyway without this project funding.
Right, additionality is key.
Absolutely. So using this established methodology provides that assurance, and that's why mechanisms like this are seen as powerful tools. They help channel climate finance, especially from developed to developing countries, and they can speed up climate action globally by funding reductions where they might be cheaper or more impactful to achieve.
Okay, so it's facilitating investment where it's needed. Beyond the carbon numbers, though, what else is going on here? What are the wider benefits, the strategic goals of this partnership?
Well, it's definitely not just about the TCOO. There's a significant socioeconomic angle, too. The projection is that it could create up to 400 green jobs in Cambodia. Things like maintenance, charging infrastructure support, maybe manufacturing down the line.
Green jobs, that's a tangible local benefit.
Exactly. Contributing to sustainable economic growth. And Director General Ryu from Korea really emphasized this. He called the project a stepping stone for broader cooperation. He wasn't just talking e-mobility, but potentially wider public transport systems, sustainable infrastructure. It opens doors.
So it's potentially seeding a much larger collaboration.
That seems to be the hope. And you have to mention the Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI. They played a pivotal role here.
GGGI, what was their function?
They acted almost like a facilitator, a neutral intermediary. GGGI helps governments and private companies structure these kinds of green investment deals. They help ensure projects meet environmental standards and deliver on economic development goals. Their involvement likely helped, de-risk the project for both sides and build trust.
That intermediary role sounds vital for complex international deals like this. Now, about those green jobs, fantastic potential, but is there a risk? Do we need ongoing training or local capacity building to make sure they're sustainable beyond the initial project phase?
That's a very fair point. Long-term sustainability always requires local capacity and ownership. That transition is key. However, the GGGI Director General, Sang-Hai Kim, he framed this project as a really significant advancement in the operationalization of Article 6 in Cambodia. He sees this specific model public sector enabling private sector innovation with international cooperation as a template.
A template for more projects.
Yes. GGGI seems confident that this success story will unlock many more climate finance opportunities with potential buyer countries. Essentially, proving the concept works makes it easier to attract funding for similar high-impact carbon deals in the future. Could really help scale things up.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels like this Cambodia-Korea project is much more than just a pilot. It's Article 6 of the Paris Agreement happening right now on the ground. You've got the emissions cuts from the e-scooters and charging network, yes, but also those green jobs we talked about. And crucially, it seems to be building a pathway for more international climate finance to flow.
Absolutely. And looking forward, host, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How could these kinds of innovative market-based solutions, especially ones tied to specific tech like e-mobility, really change the game for global climate finance and cooperation? And where you're listening, maybe consider this. What role can different countries, big and small, play in actually scaling up initiatives like this one? How do we get more of these practical, cooperative climate actions off the ground to meet the, frankly, huge challenges ahead?